So working as a communications coach and language tutor, I actually get asked this a lot. Things like, how do I get more confidence to speak in my second language? Or I know the right grammar, I know all the vocabulary, but when I talk to native speakers, I get flustered, I get nervous, and I make stupid mistakes. And I understand that. Like, most of us are not even comfortable talking to other people in their native tongue, so why do we expect them to be confident when talking in their second or third language? And here's the thing. We know that confidence is extremely important in any kind of communication situation, like be that at work, at home, be that while dating, whatever it might be. It all comes down to confidence, right? Now, there's an enormous body of research on the topic of confidence from psychology and other disciplines that mostly agree that the lack of confidence is not the default state of human cowardice, but rather a symptom of bad mental health that is usually deeply rooted in past trauma. But because everyone has had different experiences from the very day that they were born, trauma, and with that also confidence or the lack of that, is not distributed equally amongst people all over the world. And that would actually be okay if we were to address the issue like adults and deal with the real problems at hand. But probably ever since the beginning of time, there has been a very popular thought in addressing confidence or helping people build confidence that I want to call guerrilla confidence building. You just go out there, you just, push yourself to talk to people, and confidence will just come by itself if you do that often enough and like with a lot of consequence, right? And a big problem with these approaches is that a lot of times they come from sources that don't have any psychotherapeutic or mental health education to back up their claims or their method at all. This is a problem for myself as well, because I have no such qualifications, right? I know how communications work to a degree, but I'm in no place to tell people how to address the lack of confidence from a very deep psychological perspective. But let's address the issue of building confidence for the purpose of more effective communications, especially when it comes to building confidence in your second language and communicating to natives, because I inherently think that this is a very achievable goal for most of us. The first thing that I want to address is that we need to shift, or you might need to shift your paradigm of what confidence actually is. A lot of people think about it this way: if only I get more confident, I will ask for that promotion. I will call that client, I will go out and talk to people. We say building confidence for a reason, because it is not something that just comes along and we suddenly get it. Confidence is actively created, is actively built by ourselves with our own effort. But back to the point. How can we build confidence for the purpose of more effective communications? And from a little bit of reading that I did into the topic, it seems that there are two key factors that every source more or less agrees on. First, it is to define very achievable small step-by-step goals that you're then trying to achieve one after the other in order to slowly expand your comfort zone. The second key principle is that you are trying to become as comfortable as possible before you do these steps. We all have obviously those areas in which we are extremely confident, the stuff that we do on an everyday basis, that we're good at, which we just know how to do it. That's what we refer to as our comfort zone. And the thing with our comfort zone is, it is not a one-dimensional bar that only extends into one direction or contracts in the opposite one, but it is more like a circle which is surrounded by a huge wide space of insecurity. And yes, you are surrounded by insecurity. But if I want to be even more precise when I think about it, I want to describe it rather as a type of amorphous blob. And probably between that blob and that white space of insecurity, there's a huge gray area that is somewhere in between insecurity and confidence. So now we want to expand that comfort zone blob. First of all, we want to obviously identify the area in which we want to improve it, in which we want to expand our comfort zone. So in our example, that would be speaking to natives in your second language. Think about this blob a little bit like a pizza dough. If you just stretch it really quickly all at once, then obviously it's gonna rip, and that would be kind of damaging to our blob. However, if you do it slowly, step by step, you have the chance to actually stretch it quite a bit and not rip it. And here's the reason why. Before you do that, you want to become as comfortable as possible. Think about it this way. All over your blob, there are random areas where you, during your everyday life, just expand into that gray area that is between comfort and insecurity, where you don't feel discomfort, but it does take some mental energy in order to compensate for the actual lack of comfort. Let's say that could be dirty laundry piling up, just dread to come home, having to cook dinner for yourself, wearing formal clothing for work. So let's think about how we can pull those gray areas back into the comfort zone. One way to do that is obviously to just literally pull it back. Find a way to eliminate the lack of comfort there. The other way to do that is actually to just expand your comfort zone in those areas to the point where these things are within your comfort zone. You should then have enough mental strength or mental energy to mobilize to that area that you actually want to gain more confidence in, that you originally wanted to gain more confidence in, which in our example again is talking to native speakers in your second language. I really think the hardest part about building confidence is that there is no real quick fix. There is no golden bullet to solving this issue. Usually it's a process that takes a lot of dedication, that takes time, effort, and energy from us. And whenever we are in those situations, we tend to expect instant results, and then oftentimes we're disappointed when reality catches up to us. You do 10 sit-ups the night before and you expect a six-pack when you wake up in the morning, but then you wake up and you still have your dad belly, right? The same with building confidence. It's a tedious process that takes time in order to succeed in it. And me personally, throughout my life, I had to expand that blob of comfort zone in various different areas over and over again. Even making these videos is extremely uncomfortable for me still. I don't have the photography or the cinematography skills of other people that I actually actively watch on YouTube. Until recently, I didn't even know what B-roll is. Now I learn it and I suck at it, and that's a problem for myself. When we get down to the actual core things that I talk about, I work with a lot of people who are 10 years into their career. I have 4 years of career sales experience. Who am I to tell them how to improve the way that they attack their own careers? So what has worked for me throughout the years is really approaching confidence as this step-by-step process and not taking on too much at once, because those were usually the moments that I failed, where I wasn't able to gain any confidence, when I took on all the workload that I could find lying around anywhere, just hope that confidence would come naturally. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this was a valuable video for you and maybe even helped some of you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. I hope to see your beautiful faces in the next video. Peace.